Hello everybody, it's Dutch104 here and welcome to my video. Today's video I should be mostly showing you a quite awesome and quite amazing Deluxe battle tank made by Chap Mei, part of the Freedom Force, made back in around about 2008. I purchased this tank well, a couple of years ago. It's missing the two figures that should go with it and also one missile, but other than that it's pretty much all here. Now, I did my research using a website called Jomi Toys. It was spelled Jomi Toys, which gives me some basic information about when it was released and what other parts were included with it. It's a great big tank, huge model, very nicely sculpted, all kinds of details on it, and I'm sure you've noticed already, and you can quite clearly see it's based on the Israeli Defence Force Merkava main battle tank. It's got lots of quite exciting features to it. And first things first, please note that the turret actually turns 360 degrees, reasonably easy. Actually turns a bit better if you've got two hands using it. There we are. So without too much ado, the turret does turn. Barrel just raised up a little bit, but it tends to sit down on the horizontal position naturally. It does fire missiles, which rather annoyingly didn't come with this vehicle, because I bought it second hand, and the missiles are reliably informed. Oh, bear with. This sort of size and style, pop it in there. It's actually red in colour, I think. I'm pretty sure that. Then obviously the little spring mechanism in here clicks back. You press the button and it fires this little missile out, which is quite another good feature. And this one doesn't work. This particular vehicle, it's a searchlight, battery operated. Just press the little button down there, and it should light up. This one doesn't. Perfect. It's also should have a rather large missile, which I'm pretty sure it was. It was supposed to be silver in colour, and a much bigger version of that. Of course, second hand it wasn't there. There we go. This machine gun does move a bit. It's pintle mounting. It's quite cool. One hatch, and the other hatch slides around like that. Aerial, it's missing something off here, and I can't for the love of all the team trying to remember what it's supposed to be. There we are. Back end of it, on the cobweb, it's got a section which folds down. Got a lock and a open device there, and then it should. Is it going to? No, it's not. Typical. The little catch should lock it in place. But there's a space in there to put a couple of figures, and that's just about that for the movable features. Now we'll zoom in a bit for some of the to show some of the sculpting on the side of this tank. It's rather nice. All kinds of extra equipment there. Axe, a spade, sort of bolt crops, spare piece of track, and all mounting there for possibly the gun barrel to rests, perhaps. Bulldozer blade, mine clearance blade, barricade removal blade, call it what you want. That's an awesome feature on the front of the tank. can plough its way through a hedge or a building or a barricade or something. Rather cool that. Not too sure what this weapon here is supposed to be. It's fixed. It's like this, so it can't go can't go side to side, but you only go up or down. Is it a machine gun or is it a flamethrower? Not too sure. So it looks quite cool there. In more detail on the side here. That's obviously where the missile should be. And of course the turret. The captain's got his sandwiches in there. There's the barrel. Turret detail, rather nice. Some form of extraction van, I do believe. A nice storage area here to put your sandwiches and bottles of water. Obviously all the important kit like spare bits and bobs. Set of smoke launchers here. Now the actual tracks themselves, in this vehicle are fixed. The level of detail on them is rather good. In one way it's a bit disappointing that the tracks don't turn, but then this is designed for children, and let's face it, if the tracks did turn then they would come off and be lost. So in one way it's a bit annoying that they don't turn, but actually I'm quite pleased that they're fixed in place. That way they're still here. Make a little noise that. So here's the underside, quite plain. Obviously you're not going to see it upside down on a regular basis. I'd say it's a big, chunky, awesome piece of kit. Now this vehicle is designed for 3.75 inch tall Chap Mei figures. And this sort of style of articulation was used on the Chap Mei figures at that time. It's similar to the old Star Wars figures, just the legs, arms and head move a little bit, most of the time they do. So obviously we can put we should be able to put Chappie in here. As I say, his articulation is a bit limited, but he sits in there reasonably well. He also does that side quite nicely, just about. And he should be able to sit in the front now. Well, he gets in the front a lot easier. More or less a lot easier. And importantly, hopefully the turret will. Oh, it does. As long as he's not going to go over bumps, he'll be just fine. So he sits in there quite nicely, which of course means the rest of his mates, well, not all of them, because they don't all fit due to the limitations of our articulation. But for argument's sake, it's quite cool. I think it's got the back here. It should be able to. There you go. You can stand like that. So that's quite cool. But they're a little bit limited for this particular range of figures, which means, of course, these guys are a bit limited, but they're also 3.75 inch tall. You think of the classic G.I. Joe O-ring variant. He's going to sit in there quite nicely, isn't he? That's it. Like he was born there. There you go. That's going to sit in there lovely, isn't it? Of course, these can go in the front there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Some of the other older Chap Mei figures, I think personally a little bit better suited towards these ones, towards this vehicle. but whilst on the subject, for scale purposes, Palatoy, the Action Force, look quite cool next to it, and in it as well. That's quite smart, I think. But also, of course, the same sort of way of thinking, you can quite easily use a world peacekeeper, and he will sit in there rather nicely. His articulation is probably the best of all, though I do prefer the older G.I. Joe ring. I'm sure you'll agree, they're all quite nice models. Of course, you can put a few of them in here. I've suddenly remembered that this cargo net was also supplied. That's supposed to clip onto the back here. I forgot about that side, so there we are. He clips onto there. He clips onto there. We should do. Oh, it's broken. Perfect. Try this one. And then, yeah, so that can drag stuff behind it. Of course, there's space in here to put. Let's say there's two blokes in there quite comfortably, sort of. Mind the door, mind your fingers. Lock in place, which is not going to, is it? Which it won't. No, it does it on live TV, does it? Oh dear. Once. Oh, there we are. Oh, it's locked in place. Perfect. So there and there. These boys are up here. Chubby's down the front. I'm sure you'll agree. Any which way you look at it, any angle, any time, anywhere, this is an absolutely awesome piece of kit. It's a pride and place of my Chap Mei action figure collection. And if you're lucky enough to see it in a flea market or a car boot sale or similar sort of place, sadly I think that's the only place you can buy it. And, you might be lucky enough to find it online, but it's, I say, it was released back in 2008, so well, 10 years old now, so it won't be in the shops as such, but second-hand stores possibly, garage sale, so on and so forth. I recommend picking it up. Can I say it's such a versatile piece of kit for any sort of any similar size figure range which you collect. It's awesome. I paid £10 for this one a couple of years ago. I think it's well worth every single penny. Apparently, when it was released, it was $40 brand new. So it was a fair bit back in the day. How much is it worth now? I've no idea. Maybe £10, maybe a bit more. And it doesn't really matter. I think it's absolutely awesome. I mean, yeah. There we are. Right. Well, that's it now. Thank you much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope to do some more reviews of the other vehicles in the fullness of time. Until then, thanks for watching and take care.